Hello everyone, welcome to uComputing Systems YouTube channel. My name is Eugene, and today I'm going to show you how you can perform migration using user state migration tool. And the kind of migration we are going to do is a wipe and load migration. As I already explained in our previous video, we have two ways that you can perform migration, that is side-by-side migration and then wipe and load migration. So today I'm going to show you how you can perform a wipe and load migration using user state migration tool 4.0. So without wasting much time, let's get started. Before we can perform migration using user state migration tool 4.0, we need Windows ADK, because the user state migration tool is a deployment tool within the Windows ADK kit. So if you don't have a copy of your Windows ADK, I recommend you go to Microsoft Download Center website and then download the Windows ADK. You can download the ADK 8.1 or the ADK 10 version and use it for this practice. Okay, so we're going to start the migration process. I have my Windows ADK already downloaded, so I'm going to install the USMT from my Windows ADK. So my old machine is going to be my Windows 7 virtual machine, and then my new machine is going to be my Windows 8 virtual machine. Okay, I'm going to power up my Windows 7 virtual machine and then install user state migration tool on it. Now that the Windows 7 is booted, I'm going to connect my Windows ADK kit to this Windows 7 machine and install it. I'll switch this radio button to use image file and browse. I'm going to click on the location. I'm going to search for the location of my Windows ADK toolkit. And one thing about the Windows ADK, this is mine. One thing about the Windows ADK is that once you download it from Microsoft Download Center website, it's not in an ISO format. So if you want to use it on VMware, you need to make sure you use either Ultra ISO or Power ISO to put it in an archive, like how I've done it over here. So I'll select on 8.1 and open. That is my Windows ADK 8.1. Click on OK over here. We need to make sure these two checkboxes are checked and click on OK. And I'll enter full screen mode over here on my Windows 7 machine. I'll click on Start Computer and I'm going to install my Windows ADK. I'll open up to where the setup is and I'll right click on it and select Run as Administrator. I'll select Yes over here to agree. And our Windows ADK 8.1 is informing us that there is a requirement that we need to meet before we can install the Windows ADK 8.1 on our Windows 7 machine. And it's telling us we need to install .NET Framework 4.5, which is already on our Windows ADK. So it's telling us to just check this box over here to agree the license terms and then install. So I'm going to check this box over here, make sure it's checked, and then click on accept and install. And it's going to start installing .NET Framework 4.5 for me. And after that, we can go ahead and install our Windows ADK on this Windows 7 machine. Okay, once the .NET Framework 4.5 is done installing, it gives us the option here to select the path that we want to install our Windows ADK 8.12. You can change it if you want. You can browse and change if you want, but we are not going to change. We are going to leave everything at the default and go next here. And it gives us the option to join Microsoft Customer Experience Improvement Program. I'll select No over here and go next here and click accept. And then it gives us a list of things that we can install from our Windows ADK 8.1. The only thing that we will need is user state migration tool. So I'm going to uncheck everything and leave just user state migration tool. I'll uncheck all these. and leave USMT, user state migration tool. This is the only thing that we will need for this practice. So I'll click on install here. This should go quick because it's just 72 megs. Okay, so the installation is done. What I'm going to do here is to close this window over here, and I'll bring, let me just personalize and bring my default desktop icons and apply, go OK. And because we're going to transfer the settings of this particular machine, I'm going to take some time to tweak it by changing the wallpaper to something like this. This wallpaper is only in Windows 7. We don't have it in Windows 8. So once the transfer is done, this wallpaper should be transferred and everything should look like this on the other side. Okay, so I'll sort by name here. Sort by name. And then what we're going to do here is to open command prompt and then change our directory to where we have the user state migration tool. Okay, because user state migration tool is a command line utility. You cannot run it from the GUI, unlike the Windows Easy Transfer kit. So I'm going to open my computer here and open C drive, open program files x86, and open Windows Kit. I'm going to open 8.1 here and open assessment and deployment kit. We have user state migration tool over here. I'm going to open it up, and because we're using 64-bit version of Windows 7 and my target machine that I'm migrating this data and settings to is also running 64-bit version of Windows operating system, I'm going to copy the AMD64, and this is what we're going to use. One thing that you can do here is that you can navigate from your command prompt to this location in AMD64 and run the scan state command that we use for user state migration tool. But the path is quite long. Okay, as you can see, it's quite long. So what I'm going to do here is to just copy AMD64 to a place that we can easily navigate to. I'm going to copy it to our C drive. I'll click on computer here and open C drive, and I'll create a folder here and name it USMT. I'll open and then paste our copied USMT AMD64 version here. Once we copy it to this location, you cannot load or open these tools. These are the two command line utilities that we use for user state migration. We have load state and we have scan state. Scan state is used to capture the data and settings on a machine, and load state is used to apply the settings and then data to our new machine. Okay, so I'm just going to open command prompt over here. I'm just going to open command prompt over here and change the directory to this place. Okay, so we take note of the path. I'll just click over here and copy the path so that in case we need it, I can use it at my command prompt. So I'll click on start over here, type cmd, right click and run as administrator. Click yes over here, and then we type cd space, then we paste the path that we just copied. I right click and select paste, press enter, and it sends me into the AMD64 folder that contains our user state migration files here. So I'm going to test whether our scan state and load state command works by running scan state space / ? And it tells me we have a lot of options that we can use with this command. A whole lot of options. You can take your time and go through all of them. What I'm going to do here is to change the font size so that we can see clearly. I'll just change the font size. I'll right click on this command line, title bar, go to properties, click on font, and I'll change it to Lucider console, and I'll change the font type to 18. Click OK over here. This looks large enough. All right, right. Now, what we need to do is to run our scan state command. You can create a folder. You can create a folder at the location where you want your user state migration to keep your captured data in settings. You can also leave it, and wherever you specify you should keep it, the command line will just create the folder or the directory and place the files in it. So I'm going to run my first command, and this command is going to capture my user state and my data and my user account. Okay, so I'm going to run scan state space C:\\, and I'll give it a folder name, Win7 data. And one thing about the command prompt is that anytime you want to give a label with a space within it, you have to close the statement or the command with double quotes. Okay, so I'm going to close this one with double quote over here. You don't need the double quote if you don't have a space between the folder name that you are given. If it's just going to be Win7 data or Win7 underscore data, you don't have to bring this double quote. But if you're going to give a space or leave a space in between your label you are giving to your folder, you need to bring this quote. Otherwise, the command is going to give you error. Okay, then I'll give space and type /local only space /I Mike doc.xml, and then you can add space /no compress to ensure that it doesn't compress your data. You can type no compress. This is also another switch that you can use so that it doesn't compress your data into one file. Okay, we're going to leave this option and just press on enter over here. Okay, so it gives us an error, and I think the problem here is with this. Is Mike docs is running this XML file over here in our user state migration tools folder. This XML file over here, the script, this is the one that is running. So we need to make sure the name matches this file over here. We missed an S over here. That is why it's giving us an error. Okay, so I'll just press enter here and start. It starts the migration process, and this migration process is going to capture our data, our user account, and our system settings to an intermediate storage, which can be our local hard drive, a network location or a network share, or our USB flash drive. It could be our external hard drive, wherever we want to keep it. But in our case, we are keeping it on our local machine's hard drive, and after that we're going to copy it to our new machine. Okay, the process is complete. Now let's go and check our captured data and settings. I'll close this window, go to local drive C, and as you can see, it has created the folder for us, Win7 data, and within it we have our captured data and settings. So what I'm going to do here is to go to my new machine. I have to copy this captured data to my new machine, and I need to also copy this user state migration tool to the new machine so that we can run these two commands from the command prompt. Okay, so I'll just copy these two files over here, these two folders. You can copy it to your flash drive and then connect it to your new machine, or in my case, I'm going to copy it to my host machine and then copy it from there to my new Windows 8 machine. Okay, so VMware does not allow us to copy right from one virtual machine to another virtual machine. So we have to have temporary storage. So I'm going to use my host machine as my temporary storage, and then after that I'll copy it from my host machine to my new machine. So I'll right click here to copy these two files, and I'm going to paste them in my downloads folder over here on my host machine. I'm going to paste them here. Okay, there's a bug in VMware. Sometimes you copy something and then you paste it on your host machine, it doesn't come, but you have to retry. So I'm going to copy again and paste. Okay, this time it works. Okay, we have these two files over here. So I don't need this my old machine anymore. I can suspend it by using this button over here, and then I'm going to move to my new machine and then start it by clicking on this resume button over here. Okay, so this is my new machine, a very brand new Windows 8 installation, and what we need to do here is to copy the two files that contains our user state migration toolkit and then our captured data and settings from our old machine to this new machine. And as we know already, I copied it to my host machine. So I'll just minimize my VMware and copy these files again from my host machine to the virtual machine, my new Windows 8 machine. So I'll click on this file explorer over here to open my libraries, but I want to keep it on drive C. So I'll click on computer and then open my local disk and paste this one over here on drive C. Okay, once I have these two files on my machine, what I need to do is to just run the command prompt and navigate to where I have my USMT files. So I'll click on start, type cmd, and then run the command prompt as an administrator. Right click, select run as administrator, select yes over here to allow command prompt to run, and I'm going to change the font size and the font type here so that we can see very clearly here. I'll change the directory to my C drive. You can use cd ... It's just going to go back one step. See, it moves into our Windows directory, and I'll press the up arrow and press it again, and it sends me back one step to my C drive. And I'll type cd space. We are navigating into this location. It's on our drive C, USMT AMD64. If you want life to be simple for you, you can click on this UNC path over here and copy the location of this directory, and then you come and paste it here. You press enter and it sends you to the AMD64 directory. You can test your USMT commands by running load state space / question mark, and it gives us a help showing that the command works from this directory. Okay, so I'm going to run load state space, and I'll specify the store path. So where did we keep our captured data and settings? Is in this Win8 space data folder on our drive C. Okay, so I'll just click over here and copy the path again so that we don't need to worry ourselves figuring out what to type. Okay, so I'll say load state, then I'll paste the path over here. But don't forget, because of this space over here, I have to place double quotes around the command so that it works for me. And I'll leave a space and I'll type / LAC. Okay, this command is required before the load state command will work. Okay, so I'll press enter key over here and it starts applying my data and settings to this machine. It's transferring my Windows 7, my old Windows 7 operating system files and settings to this machine. So let's wait for some time for it to complete, then we proceed. All right, sorry to interrupt. I know you're enjoying the music, but we have to continue. Okay, so now that our system is done applying our settings and data from our older machine, the next thing that we need to do is to verify whether it was applied successfully. And the difference between this one and the Windows CC transfer approach is that this one does not do it in real time. The settings has been applied to this machine, but the thing is that we need to log out of this particular user account and log in to the new account that has been transferred to this machine. Okay, so let's start the verification process. I'll close this window over here, open File Explorer, and open Computer. I'll right click on Computer and click on Manage and select Local Users and Groups in the navigation pane over here. I'll expand and click on Users, and as you can see, the Windows 7 account from our older machine has been transferred successfully to this particular new computer. But this icon over here shows that it has been disabled, so we need to enable it. So I'll right click on it and uncheck account is disabled. I will also uncheck this option over here. User must change password at next logon, so that we don't get any prompt for changing our password at next logon. We want to maintain our previous password, and I'll check this box over here, password never expires. And when you go to the members tab over here, it shows that this account is a member of the administrators group, just like how it was on our previous machine. So I'll apply by clicking on this button over here and go OK, and close this console, close this one, and then check. I'll click on start, and when I click on this one over here, you see that it tells us we have a new user account over here, which is Windows 7. So I'm going to click on Windows 7 over here to log into the Windows 7 account from our older machine. It's logging in. Okay, so our Windows 7 account is done logging in, and when I click on start, you can see the system settings has been changed to how it was on our Windows 7 PC on our older machine, and it's telling us to type our password that we had on our older machine. So you need to make sure you have that password in mind, the password from your older machine. In our case, we are using the same password for all our virtual machines, so I'll type my password here and click on confirm my account information and update content protection, and it works. Okay, so I'm just going to sort by name over here and do some verification. We're going to verify. As you can see, our wallpaper is working and our icons has been brought to the desktop, and our user profile name has been changed to Windows 7. Okay, so that is that for migrating our user data and settings. Thank you very much for joining me today. See you next time. Bye bye.